Respect. Now, you genuine love respect page. I just appreciate time to the genuine ones only. Protect your energy because not everybody's over your time. Have a safe day and have a safe week. Protect your energy because not everybody's over your time. You know, when you're a child of God, you don't got to fake gaslight somebody when God's working in your favor and God's allowing you to become your best self version of yourself. You know, regardless of what trauma was endured within you from a child point of view, being sexually assaulted, dealing with discrimination, being brainwashed, dealing with manipulation, you know, dealing with sicknesses, trauma on top of trauma, going into your adulthood, unhealthy relationships, unhealthy family members, unhealthy associates, friends. You put a name to your book. You know, when God allows you to become your best self version of yourself, you don't wear masks and fake gas like anybody in the day. Because that bond that you have with God, that one-on-one personal God bond you have with God, can't nobody get into it or break it up. And when you're genuinely at peace with yourself, you don't got to fake gas like nobody or wear a mask to tune into yourself. You know, because God's allowing you to become your best self version for the right reasons. You know, God installed these tools within us: self-awareness, self-respect, self-peace, self-control, self-discipline, self-confidence, self-care, self-love, self-worth, self-love, self-patience, and healthy boundaries. So you can become your best self version of yourself. You know, you walk by faith, not by sight. God allows you to believe in yourself today. God gave you hope within to understand the assignment that it's not competition, you know, going against your neighbor. God wants you just to elevate and become your best self version of yourself. God wants you to understand the assignment within the assignment that God is patient with you because God allows you to stand a day for the right reasons. You know, when it starts with healing, it starts with you to be true to yourself, to understand that with change comes growth, with growth comes true understanding of self. And to understand that you can't have one foot in one door, one foot in the other door. It would never make sense. And you can't wear a mask to try to fake gaslight anybody to be tuned into yourself because you're only playing your own face, and I say that respectfully. Because when you got peace with yourself, that energy hit different. But to understand that assignment within the assignment, that just because you see your neighbor at peace with themselves and they genuinely mean what they say and they true to themselves to actually be at peace with themselves, there's no competition at the end of the day. Because when you start to do the inner healing within, that energy will feel differently. And you gotta mean what you say and stay true to yourself. And when it starts with healing, especially with trauma healing, it will never be an overnight process. It's a process within the process that you will forever heal to better days ahead. To understand that God got your back. To better days ahead. And because you don't understand how your neighbor is elevating, becoming a best self vision of themselves, regardless of what trauma was endured within them, it's not meant for you to understand. Just know at the end of the day, your neighbor's not disrespecting you, no shape or form. That child of God, no. To go back and forth with you with words, they just want you to elevate and become your best self vision of yourself. That's all they want you to do. You know, because when you're a child of God, when God is working in that child of God's favor, all they want their neighbor to do is become their best self vision of themselves. But their neighbor's going to be a hate in disguise. But it's okay. But just know at the end of the day, you could be your best self vision of yourself as well too. You could genuinely be at peace with yourself and understand the definition of self-awareness to understand that God got your back as well. Especially when you don't have to, we don't have to bring harm towards yourself and others around you. You're trying to respect yourself to become your best self vision of yourself, but you don't know how to. Because you was endured with so much trauma within you and dysfunctional family members, maybe being brainwashed or manipulated. You put a name to your book. Dealing with violence, you put a name to your book. Sicknesses, you put a name to your book. Because you didn't have the proper guidance to show you that you could become your best self vision of yourself, or you felt like you were supposed to be discouraged. You got discouraged too many times. You was living in fear too many times. You done gave up too many times. God did not install within you for you to give up or live in fear or be discouraged. God installed patience within you so you can become your best self vision of yourself. God allows you to become a believer within yourself, to understand that it's no race to getting in tune with yourself to become your best self vision of yourself. As long as you take the proper steps and God is guiding you and showing you that you can become your best self vision of yourself, God got your back. You know, just because whatever God installed within that child of God, how that child of God elevated and became a best self vision of themselves, it may not work for you. Everybody healing process is different. What may work for one person may not work for the next person. Just like with food. What something that you may like, a next person may not like. What may be good for your body may not be good for the next person's body. And I say that respectfully. But it's called respect at the end of the day. And respect is a two-way street. And God installed respect within us to respect our neighbor. Not to go against our neighbor, not to bring our neighbor down because our neighbor's having a misunderstanding self-day with themselves today. Or our neighbor's trying to elevate and become their best self-vision of themselves. It's not meant for us to bring our neighbor down or disrespect our neighbor because we don't understand how God is favoring this child of God, or how God is favoring you, or how God is favoring the chosen one, or how God is allowing y'all to become your best self-vision of yourselves, and how God allowed you to pick yourself up today, or how God allows you to see that, you know what, regardless to what trauma was endured within you, you was dealing with a domestic violence dispute, you was dealing with violence, you was dealing with hate crime, you was dealing with the enemies trying to size you up, psychological thought process. They not understanding how you overcame it. It's not meant for them to understand. When you have that bond with God, and you don't gotta fake gaslight nobody, you don't gotta fake gaslight yourself because you're only playing in your own face. And I say that respectfully. You don't gotta fake gaslight nobody or fake gaslight yourself when you showing up for yourself to become your best self vision of yourself. Because when you do the inner work within, it speaks value from itself. When you genuinely tune into God. God is real. You know, they say that God may not be working in your favor today because of your sexual orientation. They say God may not be working in your favor because of your drug addiction problem. They say God may not be working in your favor because your parents disrespected you and you wanted to speak up for yourself. They say God not working in your favor. They said God not working in your favor because your neighbor tried to disrespect you and all you was trying to do was speak up for yourself and you wasn't being disrespectful in no shape or form. But they not understanding that God is working in your favor and you are the miracle within yourself. And they not understanding that you don't have to wear a mask to be tuned into God. Because not everybody's a child of God. Not everybody's a chosen one. They're not. Because you have the chosen one, then you have the child of God, and then you have the enemies. You got to know the difference. It's a big difference, and I say that respectfully. And we don't shake with the enemy over here, and I say that respectfully. We don't shake with the enemy. God does not shake with the enemy. God protects. God protects us from the enemy. And I say that respectfully. So because they don't understand and they sit there quick to judge you because of what you got going on within your life at the end of the day, or because you done did something and they don't understand how God is working in your favor at the end of the day, you never judge a book by its cover, neighbor. Never. That child of God, that chosen one, that child of God is choosing their best self-vision and showing for themselves today, regardless to what trauma they endured as a child point of view going into their adulthood, or regardless who overlooked them or manipulated their character for something they truly wasn't, and they try to psych them out their thought process and say God is not working in your favor. You're only playing in your face, neighbor. Because that bond that child of God has with God is only meant for that child of God and God to understand what the simultaneous assignment is. That God is allowing that child of God become their best self-vision of themselves. And they ain't got to fake gaslight nobody or wear a mask at the end of the day. And I say that respectfully. Because when you're tuned into God, you don't got to fake gaslight nobody at the end of the day or manipulate somebody's character at the end of the day. And I say that respectfully. When it starts with healing, it starts with you. You got to mean what you say to stay true to yourself, to understand the assignment within the assignment. They would sit here and disrespect you. Oh, how you think you better than somebody because you doing the inner healing within? What? Oh, you think you better than somebody because you overcame your trauma? And not one time did you disrespect your neighbor. Not one time. You try to motivate your neighbor to show them at the end of the day, if I could do it, you could do it too, neighbor. But it starts with you, neighbor. Don't pick on me because you don't understand my walk of life. Don't pick on me because God is working in my favor. Don't pick on me because at the end of the day, you're only playing in your face. You're only playing in your own face, playing with a child of God. And I say that respectfully. Because they don't understand their walk of life. It's not meant for them to understand that God is allowing you to become your best self-vision of yourself. Because God was patient with you for another day. And God allowed you to see that, you know what? Regardless of what trauma was endured within you, you are the miracle within yourself. Because I was patient with your process. You was patient with your process to show for yourself. To do the right work within. When you're a child of God, when you know, you don't gotta fake gaslight nobody at the end of the day. Just because they gave up on you, don't give up on yourself. Just because they overlooked you, don't give up on yourself. You are genuinely loved by all the right people. You are genuinely respected by all the right people. And you deserve to be treated with respect 365 days with no malicious intentions to bring harm towards yourself and others around you. Never allow the enemy or the hate in disguise or personal intentions psych out your thought process, loving your freedom, because you are worthy and you matter. They will sit here and fake gaslight you and act like they so in tune with God, and the whole entire time they're trying to psych out your thought process, loving your freedom, your eyes in your pockets in the day, and manipulate your character that you truly not, and try to bring harm towards you. So protect your energy, because not everybody's ever your time. I truly appreciate your time to the genuine ones only. Have a safe day. Have a safe week. Protect your energy, because not everybody's ever your time. Now your genuine love, respect. Love yourself with God's protection for every direction. Love yourself with God's protection for every direction. Have a good day. Respect.